Good evening, everyone. DSP here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Monday, the 19th of January, 2026. An interesting streaming day. Today, we actually saw the conclusion of two different playthroughs on the channel. We're going to talk about that because I know people are going to be like, well, what happened? Did you beat the games? Did you rage quit the games? Did the games just get boring? Did the support fall off? Well, let's talk, because in a lot of cases, it's going to always be a combination of factors. And in one particular case, I felt like it was a game that we probably weren't going to finish anyway. But before we even talk about that, today was the first episode ever of the DSP Morning Show. What is the DSP Morning Show? Well, it's on a day when I'm going to do a major gameplay stream, but I'm not going to be doing a full-on podcast, meaning I don't want to do an hour and a half to 2 hour long show where I'm talking about particular topics, where I have news to discuss, where I'm reacting to trailers, etc. Instead, it's a very more laid-back situation where I just want to build up the stream and get more attention, get more people watching before I start with said game. So I've already been doing these streams. I've been calling them stream build-up sessions. They only last about maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But the thing is, I've never recorded them or uploaded them. And some people were saying that they were upset that they were missing out on some of the discussion, Q&A, and stuff that was going on during those shows. So could I record it and upload it? So I said, all right, fair enough. Ask and you shall receive. I'll call it the DSP Morning Show. We'll hang out for a half an hour in the morning, and then we'll start, early afternoon, right with the games. And that's what we did today. So it was about 40 or so minutes, maybe 50 minutes of discussion. I'm not sure. Today, we actually had some news. We had some news about the game High Guard coming out next week. And we had an update about the game Marathon from Bungie that's coming out in early March. So technically, we did actually have a little bit of news to discuss on the show, despite the fact that normally we probably wouldn't. But then we just hung out for the rest of the show. We started talking about other things, such as the upcoming Marathon in February. So it was a good hangout session. It went well. The video is live on the channel. If you missed it, you can check it out and see what we were up to this morning. Then the major portion of the stream was Pokemon Legends ZA and the conclusion of the DLC. Now, here's the thing. I say the conclusion of the DLC because I'm done with Pokemon Legends ZA at this point. No lie, 65 videos over 70 hours this playthrough, okay? So overall, what happened today? Well, here's what happened. We went and we fought another big Pokemon from Pokemon Sapphire. We got it. It was one of the legendary from that game. What was it called? Can't even remember what it was called, actually. I've completely forgotten. Started with a K or something like that. So we got him. And then the game says you have to grind another 100,000 expedition points to get to the next part of the story, which is just another boss fight. So I'm like, well, how do you do that? You got to go into more rifts, but not new rifts, just the same level 4 rifts you've already been doing. So the most points you can even get in a rift is around 8,000 to 10,000, but most rifts are anywhere from 3 to 5. You don't know when you go in. So it's just endless grind. And we spent over 2 more hours grinding. It was finally the very tail end of the stream, 2.5 hours of grinding. Boring. I'm not kidding you when I say even the staunchest Pokemon fans got bored as hell today, including this guy right here. There was no fun to be had doing the same repetitive things on the entirety of the stream. There was no excuse for them to even put that into the game. It was lazy. It was a cop-out, and it was an easy way for them to sell a DLC and claim it had content when it really doesn't. I was very, very disappointed with what they did with this ending of this DLC, okay? At the very last minute, I finished the grind, and we went to fight Rayquaza. But there's a problem. Rayquaza, of course, is a crazy Pokemon that Mega Evolves, has 2 phases you need to fight him in, the regular phase, then a Mega Evolved phase. The problem is, even if you have a Pokemon that has all of his weaknesses, even if the Pokemon's level is absolutely maxed, unless you have like the absolute perfect build, you can't beat Rayquaza. What do I mean? So his weakness, one of his weaknesses is ice. I go in there with my Glacie, who is a Glacian, maxed out level, okay, using the plus moves, all his weaknesses. We beat the first form easily. Get to the second form, we can't beat it. We just can't deal enough damage. Time runs out, and the game decides no No resumes, meaning you can't like start again with some of the health of the boss reduced. Just start completely from scratch from the first form. What? It doesn't even make sense because really that means the only way that you can actually beat this Pokemon is to go in there already knowing all of its weaknesses, going in with a level 100 Mega Evolved enabled Pokemon, having the perfect loadout so you can every single turn hit it with a weakness. It's the only way you'll ever deal enough damage to beat this thing within the time limit. So that was it. It was already past 4 p.m. because I had to grind so much, and I said, we're done. I'm literally not going to do another stream of this game where we're going to grind endlessly to get the candies to find another ice Pokemon or bug Pokemon or whatever the heck its weakness is. I'm not going to waste time. I've had enough. Like, I'm actually legit bored. And in tandem with that, the audience was bored, even though Pokemon has been one of the most supported playthroughs I've ever done. Today, we only got about $80 of support. So one of the lowest supported Pokemon streams ever. Even fans of Pokemon left. I'm not even kidding you. Some of the people who are longtime fans are, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to leave. Maybe I'll come back later and see if you beat it or not. I'm serious. Just everyone was completely bored to tears. So it's sad. That's what happened with Pokemon, that they really ruined the ending. But the thing is, the majority of my audience was already begging me to stop playing Pokemon. So 70 hours, 65 parts. That's it for my playthrough. It was a great one. To everyone who likes Pokemon, thank you so much for attending, engaging, and supporting with that game over the last 3.5 months. It's been a blast. Now it's time to move on to other stuff, but we'll be back sooner rather than later because guess what? There's another Pokemon game in March called Pokopia or Poketopia, whatever it's called. It's a hybrid between Animal Crossing and Pokemon, and we're going to give it a look. So Pokemon will return soon. So that's it for Pokemon. We're done. It's out of the rotation. Okay? The late stream tonight was the continuation of Quarantine Zone, The Last Check. Indie game that we started last week, 1 week ago. This is our third stream of it. And to be honest, the first 2 streams were very interesting because every time that we played, it seemed like they were adding new gameplay elements, new symptoms and things to detect in the survivors, new tools you can use to detect said symptoms, new elements to the gameplay, like using a drone to shoot a bunch of zombies in the area and stuff like that. And that was really neat. And then, doing some other little mini games like researching at the lab and stuff like that. Tonight, I hate to say it, 2 hours of this game, it just wasn't that interesting. Basically, we were doing exactly the same game again. It really didn't add much tonight. I mean, I think I detected one new symptom and they gave me one new tool, but it really was just more of the same, honestly. The plot didn't advance at all. It remained exactly the same and didn't get any new interesting breakthroughs or anything like that. And on top of all of that, there were no interesting survivors. If you remember the first stream, we had a guy that looked like Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies. And then there was a guy who had skeleton hands and like a pink-skinned head. It was unique. None of that tonight. It was just normal people. It was super boring. So I did have a good time with the audience. We chilled, we talked, we had a good time. But basically by the end of the stream, everyone was saying, yeah, this is kind of boring now. This kind of sucks. It's disappointing. And it wasn't even like a poorly supported stream. It was good. It wasn't the best, but it certainly wasn't a terrible night. But even then, by the end of the night, we were like, I think we all agree this game, that's about it. So we're about 6 hours of Quarantine Zone. If you want to ask how far I was into the game, I would argue roughly halfway in. We had completed 2 quarantine day checkpoints where basically it's evacuation day and you get people out of the camp. We were already a day or 2 into the next one. It's 5 days for each. So probably halfway in and maybe 12, 13 hours you beat the game. The thing is, I just don't think they're adding much to it. I didn't really care to play anymore. And the audience agreed. They were like, yeah, it's time to move on. Let's find something else. So Quarantine Zone, it's a fine game. It's a Game Pass game. It's a game that's cheap as well if you just want to buy it. If you like this style of game, go for it. I think it's good for, 4 or 5 hours. But kind of ran out of Steam. And I didn't want to play it anymore and just force it down people's throat when we weren't really having a good time with it tonight. So that is it for Quarantine Zone. I hope you enjoy the final 2 hours of the game. And that's that for that. So the thing is, this now is going to obviously affect the schedule. Okay, first off, later in the week, we had a stream on Friday that may be open. It really depends on how tomorrow goes with Clair Obscur. We may have an open stream, and if we do have one, people are asking me to go back and check out Code Violet again, citing that the game has been patched multiple times and apparently is running better now. We could give it another go on Friday if that's what people want. But in addition, I had a second stream of Quarantine Zone scheduled for Thursday night, and now we don't have that. So what we will do tomorrow, on the Level 1 podcast, and we will discuss what you guys would like to see later in the week. Do you want that Code Violet stream on Friday? Do you want a different new game? Should it be an indie game for Thursday night? Or should we actually play a stream of Call of Duty, which we've been talking about and some people have been asking for? Should we give Call of Duty another go with the new setup and see if you guys like it? I'm open. I'm open to any suggestion. Let's talk about it on the podcast tomorrow morning and figure that out. All right? Also on the Level 1 podcast tomorrow morning, we're going to talk about the upcoming Life is Strange games coming out, because there's going to be a presentation at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow to discuss said stuff. And so what I want to do is react to that live on the show tomorrow, give you my honest thoughts about it, and we could talk about that. So tomorrow we will have multiple important topics to discuss on the podcast. Then we're going back to Clair Obscur. We're taking on Simon for the final time. Hopefully I will defeat him. In fact, I've already gotten some really good advice about how to take him on in a little bit of a different way than what I was doing the first time. And I think I'm going to get him. Let me put it this way. It's not like spoilers, like this is how you beat him, but people were like, yeah, you were like right there about how to beat him, but you just didn't get it yet. Here's what you do. I'm going to try it tomorrow. I think we're going to get him. I think we're going to complete Clair Obscur tomorrow. If we have extra time, maybe we will go check out some of that DLC content, but I think that's it for Clair Obscur as well. All these playthroughs, they've been running really long. They're all just seeing their due course, right? Quarantine Zone was not a game that I needed to play fully. We were just checking it out, and we played it enough that we know what it is. Time to move on. Pokemon's a game that we played to death, and people were asking me to move on for. And now with Clair Obscur, once we beat Simon, I don't know if I really want to spend more time doing DLC when people aren't really even along for the ride for Simon. So let's do it tomorrow. Let's beat Simon, and let's end the playthrough of Clair Obscur, shall we? Now, tomorrow night is an important night. Tuesday night, I'm doing an extra stream of Street Fighter 6. And it's important because I want to know if people will show up, engage, and support with Street Fighter 6 on a night that's not Friday Night Fights. Because here's the thing. People are saying, we want ranked gameplay. We want you to eventually try new characters from Season 3. And I've explained to everyone, I'm willing to do that, but that means that I have to invest a lot more time. Meaning, playing it once a week on Friday night is not enough to do that. I would need to have extra streams. I would need to maybe do daytime streams again. So, if that's the case, let's test the waters. If people show up and engage in support tomorrow night for Lily Ranked, and if people show up for Friday Night Fights and continue to show up in support, I will consider next week doing a daytime stream of Street Fighter 6, where we will probably maybe try one of the new Season 3 DLC characters, okay? But I need to have that commitment from you guys, that you come and you hang out and you support these streams. Not that I'm playing for myself and now all of a sudden the attendance dwindles and there's no engagement, no support, and everyone's complaining they hate Street Fighter 6 again. Then I'm just going to say forget it. Okay? So let's see how it goes tomorrow night. I'm craving Street Fighter 6. I want to play with Lily, level her up, get her to master because she's my lowest ranked character right now. So let's do it. Tomorrow, let's have a great day with a fun podcast, the conclusion of Clair Obscur, and Street Fighter 6 Ranked Madness with Lily. Okay? Guys, thank you so very much. Please have a good evening. I will see you all in the morning for another awesome day. Let's figure out what's next together. Have a good night. Peace out, my friends.